Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're here again. Once again, we're here for the annual Facebook Live Wednesday Night Wealth. We have a great guest on the show tonight. We're going to continue our series talking about real estate. We're going to continue our series talking about wealth, how we can get it in our own community. We've been having bringing in businesses. We done talked about health. We didn't cover the whole gambit. But one of the things I want you guys to realize is that real estate is the key that goes into the engine that's going to create generational wealth for our communities, for our families. It's going to give us that retirement that we want. If you missed it last week, we had a ball. We kicked off the 100 families that's going to buy a house before December 31st. Lakesha lately is the realtor that's on deck with us. We went and looked at houses. We went and talked about mortgages. We talked about real estate. If you are looking to purchase a home, don't be dismayed by what the market is saying. Don't be scared. Don't be dismayed to talk about, hey, I'm ready to buy a house. We can help you. If you missed it last week, we're going to be back again. We're going to give you some more information about it. But before we go any further, I want to take this opportunity to introduce one of the top realtors in the state, in Indianapolis, Indiana, right here in our own city, Lakesha Lately. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Lakesha.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lakesha Lately, and I'm a realtor with the Cooperative. That is the name of my brokerage. And um, I have been doing real estate for over a couple years now. Not only that, I'm also an investor, so I know both. I know both ends.
All right.
I'm also a homeowner,
Okay.
so I know how it feels to be in your shoes.
Right. So Lakesha was helping us out last week. A lot of people have called me since we have talked to her, and one of the things we have some basic quick questions, Lakesha, in reference to, and these are some of the questions that I wrote down, and I would like for you to kind of address them. How many people is on your team at your office? At
Uh,
your
Right, right now, it's 14 of us. We're all beautiful
okay.
African American women right now.
Okay. So, Lakesha, I know that we have a number that we're scrolling down here. What is it? What should we look for with the real estate company? What should we look for as people are starting to sell their house? I know we always talking about buying a house, right? We always talk about what you got to do to buy, but when you're talking about selling your home, okay, let's flip the script a little bit. What should we look for when we're looking for a real estate agent?
Yeah. So the first thing is you want to make sure that the real estate agent that you are looking for is knowledgeable, especially in the local area that you're selling your home in.
Okay,
You also need to make sure that you can trust them.
okay,
They're going to be leading you. They're going to be the one giving you the professional advice. So you want to make sure that you're able to trust them, and also you want to make sure that they're quick to answer your questions.
okay.
If you have a question about anything, you want to make sure you're able to call them or text them, and they respond. Or any concerns that you have, you want to make sure that they're able to address that, because that's important when you selling or buying a house, that you can.
Okay.
That you
So when you say they got to be knowledgeable in the area that you're buying, right? So is there real estate agents? Because I've heard this in the past, but I want to make sure. Is there real estate agents? Most of them, do they specialize in different areas, or do they just pretty much cover the whole thing, cover the whole city?
So there's both. There's some agents that just only want to specialize in certain areas. And then there's some agents like me where I'll go and sell in different areas, but I'll make sure I do my research. If I'm not familiar with that area, I'm going to make sure I do my research to see what the market is in that area. So there's,
Okay.
yeah.
So you want to make sure that the realtor is very knowledgeable of the area that you're selling your house in, right? Not
Yeah.
just now when we're setting up a contract with the realtor, why should we use a realtor than me trying to go out and sell it myself?
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Okay.
I mean,
No, it wouldn't be for me.
for one, it's a lot of paperwork, and a lot of times you're going to have someone to write up the contract for you. You're not licensed, so for one, you're going to have to reach out to an attorney or to a realtor to help you for the contract. And then two, you're not knowledgeable, and you don't do this every day as we do, so it's going to be hard for you to try to market. You're not sure how to market your house. Really, you're not sure how to price your house. You're going to price it off a lot of times off your feelings, and because that's your house, and you may feel that your house is worth this much more because it's a house that you love and maybe you have grew up in, and it's emotional attachment. So you have to be able to um, not price it based off emotional, but price it based off the market and what's going on in that area, in that neighborhood. And
Okay.
that's where we come in at, as far as experts, to help you with that.
Okay, so you're saying that two eyes is better than one, and
Exactly.
because you're detached from it, you can get the maximum amount out of your home.
Correct.
Okay. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a house and you're trying to get it sold, right? You need to call Lakesha because you don't want to try to do it yourself. Okay. You want to make sure that you have professional people doing professional things. So we want to make sure that you understand that those are tools. I know we've covered a lot when we're talking about buying a house, but now we're talking about when you're selling your asset. Okay, she's telling you that when we're talking about a realtor, when we're looking for a realtor, make sure that they specialize in your area. Make sure that they know what they're doing in your area. If they don't know what they're doing, I don't know if it's going to be a good hire. Might not be a good day.
Yeah.
So, how long should my house stay on the market, Lakesha? I know we talked about pricing. What's out there with that? What's up with that? I know I've heard people say 2 days, 24 hours. I heard CNN was talking about houses is not even staying on the market as quickly as before they even listed. People got offers on them. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, so for May here in Marion County, the average is 5 days that is staying on the market. And then last month in April was 4 days that is
Wow.
staying on the market.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
And
y'all
some
hear that? So, if
average.
you got a house and you want to put it on the market, if you priced it right, on the average, 4 to 5 days, you're gonna be getting an offer. All
Yes.
right. So, how should we price our home, Lakesha? I know we talked about that kind of briefly, but I want us to maximize our community because when we sell a house below market value in our community, that makes the whole community come down, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All
So
right.
the first thing is find you a real estate agent that knows that market, that knows that area. And then make sure that that real estate agent is doing their research. You don't want to just price the house, or you don't want to go with a real estate agent that's just going to price your house at the highest price and you think that that's good. You want to make sure you price it where it's comparative to all the other houses that's selling in your area. Because if you price it too high, then you're not going to get as many buyers coming through versus if you price it right at the right price. You'll have more people coming to look at your house.
But right now we're in a hot market, so they're overpaying. You brought out something
Mhm.
when we had our class. You brought out something that was called gap,
Yeah,
right? Kind
appraisal
of talk to us a little bit about gap.
Yeah, so appraisal gap is something where the buyer will offer, say, for example, they offer over asking price, over the list price. If the list price is 275 and then the buyer wants it so bad, they offer $295,000. That's 20,000 over asking. So the appraisal gap is if the appraisal does not appraise at 275, then the buyer needs to come out of their pocket, their own pocket, to make up the difference, which would be $20,000. Because lenders, they're not gonna, they're only going to approve for what the property is worth and what it was valued as. So that would be the 275. So if the buyer wanted, and a lot of them right now are doing it, they have the cash, they have the capital, they're just putting in the extra money so they can win the bid.
Wow. So you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? It's called gap. She gave us a term. I want y'all to know when we're going in and applying for these mortgages, if that realtor says, hey, this house appraises at 100,000, but you can make an offer for 120, and you're gonna have to come up with the $20,000 difference plus closing costs. So there's no time for you to be playing around with that. And a lot of times, I know on my end, we'll ask you to verify those funds. Okay, we'll ask you
Mm-hmm.
to verify those funds, and you got to have it in your account. You
Yep.
can't go get it out of grandma's shoebox. You can't go get it out of Uncle Joe's backyard, digging it up by the doghouse. You can't do that. We got to show where that money is coming from. Lakeisha,
Yeah.
how? So we learned that gap is what we pay the difference. Okay,
Yes.
we learned that when we're trying to get a realtor, you want to make sure that that person is very knowledgeable in your area. Okay,
Yes.
let's talk about one of the biggest things that's out here, Lakeisha. Let's talk about the earnest money. I've seen people put down $20,000 earnest money. Does that even matter?
Well, it does. I mean, in this market, because when you're competing with other offers, you and the seller are looking at those offers, they're going to look at the earnest money. If the more you put down right now, they're looking at, oh, this buyer is really serious. Like they're putting down 20,000, 10,000 in earnest money, and they don't even have to really, because the normal is like 1%. And really, you don't have to put any earnest money down. It's not required. It's nothing you have to do. But if
What?
you go
Hold
in,
on. So you're saying that because of the market that's driving us to put down more money to make it seem like, quote unquote, we're serious.
yeah,
Wow. See,
yeah,
once again, if you don't know, you got to watch the show so you can become educated now.
yeah,
Lakeisha is saying that we're losing these bids because we're not putting in as much earnest money as somebody else might have.
exactly. Yeah.
Wow, that's a new one, y'all. I didn't know the Calvary didn't came, the creek rose, and the levee gave way. I did not know. So when I'm putting in an offer, I need to really make sure that I did my research. Can a real estate agent help me with that, or is it, can she say, hey, or he or she, can they say, hey, how much should I put down? And can you advise on that? Is that standard procedure?
No, I mean, I can't tell them how much to put down. I ask them how bad, do you want this? How serious are you? And what are you willing to put down? Because I also educate them that you're also taking a risk with the earnest money. Because, for example, if something happens after the contingencies, like after the inspection goes through fine and after the appraisal go through fine, but maybe you find another house you like and now you want to get out the contract, you will lose that earnest money. So when you putting that earnest money down, you also have to look at it like, okay, well, there's a small possibility that I may lose it, but that's a risk that the buyer takes, and so I don't tell them how much to put down. I just advise them and educate them, that the more you put down, the serious that they will take you as far as your offer.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so she's telling us how we can start to compete when we're looking at these houses. Because if you was with us last week, I said we got to learn how to take no. Because a lot of times we might love the house, we might say, "Hey, let me go back and think about it with my spouse," and
Mm.
then we go back, and then it's already sold. And
So
then
yeah,
they
I
say,
had an example for that. So I had showed a house yesterday,
"Okay,
in the evening, and this morning they told me they want to put an offer in, and it was too late. The seller accepted the offer last night.
wow,
So, but they went home to think about it and talk about it. But in this market, we don't really have. I mean, it's not much time to think. If you feel it when you there, then when you leave or when you right there, then the offer need to be getting put in right then and there.
wow." So she's saying that not only do you guys need to know what you want when you want it, but you need to get with me to make sure that you have a valid approval so that when you do submit the offer. Now, I got a question. I ran into a situation today, right?
Uh-huh.
Didn't get a chance to ask, so I apologize in advance. Does it matter with the real estate agent or the seller if it's a FHA or a conventional loan? Does it matter?
It
Now,
doesn't matter.
from a mortgage standpoint, I always say let the real estate deal with the buyers and let the mortgage company deal with the mortgage. But sometimes the lines get crossed, right? I had an issue today. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask Lakeisha.
Yes. So honestly, it's easier with the seller's going to accept conventional over FHA a lot of times,
Why?
most of the time. because it's easier and cleaner. With FHA, sometimes their inspections can be a little bit more stricter, and sellers don't want to have to do things that they may nitpick. Versus conventional, it's not like it's easy. You know for sure that it's going to go through 45 days. FHA sometimes at the minimum it's like 45 days because you got to have two inspectors come out. You have appraisers come out. Their appraiser, they have their own FHA appraiser. So it's just less risky of taking a conventional versus a FHA. And
Okay.
that's
So
right
so
now in this
so here we
market.
go.
So
So what we're talking about is first time homeowners, and I want to educate our community. Is one of the reasons why FHA is a little bit more difficult than the conventional is because your credit score is a lot higher. Okay, so it's less work to get the deal done. Okay, but when you're talking about FHA, you might have some credit issues that you might need to get fixed, which ain't gonna happen with conventional. If you don't qualify credit wise, you're getting turned down. So that's why most people like to use conventional rather than FHA. The appraisals are normally close similar in impact, but it's a little bit different. Now, do you sense that does the sellers of the house, do they look at that, or
yes.
do you educate them on that? Do they say, because the average person don't know if it's a FHA? Green is green.
Yeah,
Okay.
we educate them, but some of them do know. Like they know, like
You know,
they'll know the conventional versus the FHA. If they have these offers and we're looking at them and they see, okay, that's one of the first things. Look, what kind of loan is it? Is it cash, conventional, FHA, VA? Like what kind of loan is it? And so yeah, a lot of times we put those on one stack, FHA, then conventional, and we go through the conventionals first. Sometimes you may not even have a chance to look at the FHA because you have so much of good ones in the conventional.
okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so now if you've been turned down, now you know. So you got to make sure that that credit score gets up, so we can have that conventional. So for that first time home buyer with all those down payment assistance programs, you got to remember you running that risk of not being able to get qualified or to get that offer accepted. Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
Now,
the higher your deposit, the higher your earnest money, the better your chances are. Is that what you're telling us? Also,
yes. And also with FHA, I mean, you can still get approved. You'll have a better chance getting approved on the houses that been on the market like a little bit longer, like 10, 15 days, a little bit longer, because that means that it's not a lot of people competing because it's still there a lot of times. So you have a chance still. But with the ones that's on the market for 2, 3 days, and they have a lot of other offers, those are a little bit harder when it's in a bidding war for FHA to win. But I mean, you can still win. I mean, you can still get your offer accepted. It may take just a little longer than a conventional loan. That's
okay,
all.
so the sellers are getting educated now. That's what she's telling us.
Yeah.
They're educated now, and guess what? The real estate agents are educating them. So
Hmm.
we not got to know. So a lot of times when I get that all the time, man, I don't want to put no money down. Well, guess what? That's not a conventional type of deal. So you run that risk. So once again, we got some other questions over here, Lakeisha. Uh, what what does it say here? Okay, when you put down your earnest money, how do you lose it? If what some of the things can cause you to go into default and you will lose your earnest money?
Well, that's what I was saying. If you do like a breach of contract, so say after all the due diligence period, like your inspection went good, the seller agreed to fix whatever you wanted to have fixed, they did that, and then the house was appraised for the value or above the value of what you offered, all that was good, and then you just decide, oh, you know what, I just don't want this house. There's another house right here I want. I'm going to just get out the deal. You're going to lose your earnest money.
Okay, so it goes to the seller,
It
right?
goes to the seller.
So it
Yeah, it
doesn't.
goes to the
So the
seller.
misconception is it goes to the realtor. So it doesn't go to the realtor.
No, it goes to the seller.
Okay, it goes to the seller.
Yeah,
Well,
because
I
you
had somebody that asked me.
wasted their time. You wasted the seller time, and that agent, because now we went through all the whole process, and now you want to just cancel and no, like it's going to go to the seller, and Not that.
Okay. So traditionally, Lakeisha, when you're becoming a listing agent, how long do you normally do the contract for when you're dealing with the seller?
90 days. I do it like for 90 or 6 months, just depends. But mostly
90,
90 days, yeah.
90 days. So
Mhm.
you got to get out here and get it. So what are some of the tools if you are a seller of your house? What are some of the things that you should expect out of your realtor marketing your house other than just getting on the MLS?
Oh yeah. So your realtor should be doing videos.
Videos?
Yes, I did. Yeah, do videos, post it on their social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, however. They should be having, we don't, I mean, right now there's not, it's not really big on have open houses. It just depends on the type of house and depends on the, like if you have like a 500,000 or more house, then yeah, it'd be good to have like an open house. Or another thing that I like to do is I pass out like flyers in the neighborhood, and it has like a postcard flyer with your house on there and just shows that it's for sale.
Okay, okay. So you should be doing videos,
Hmm.
social media.
Yeah, social media is big too.
Where at on social media should they be doing?
So here like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. A lot of people like TikTok, so you can do quick TikToks like go to the house and make little like a little video and just upload it on TikTok.
Oh,
Put some music behind it, and people like looking at houses, especially if they're nice.
so that HGTV is really working then, huh?
Yeah, I put
So
mine on my story too. So like I have put something on my story yesterday, and a lot of people have been inboxing me about a house. Well, where is it at? How many bedrooms? How much is it? So that also, they may not see it on the MLS, or they may not see it on Zillow or anything like that, but they see it on my story.
okay, so you're branding your because of you, that house is getting looked at because of your brand. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay, so that's good to know. So when we're looking for a realtor, you want to make sure that realtor is out here in the community, right?
yes, yes. Get out there in the community.
Get out there in the community. So let's switch it up a little bit. How do you feel about real estate being involved in generational wealth? Do you see that they correlate with one another?
Yes, I do. I do. I think I have kids, and I think it's important to include them. I include my kids in what I'm doing, so
Yeah,
they
there
can.
was the best salesman at our conference last week was her daughter. So I got a lot of people that wanted to come in, and I'm going to shoot the video, and you're going to see that she put her out here in front of everybody so that we can actually see what was going on. But a lot of people come in when they see our youth involved in our businesses.
Mhm.
Lakeisha, we had a good response from that yet last.
We we did, we
Yeah,
did.
yeah. So social media, um, going out there, being involved in the community,
Yeah.
and you say that generational wealth is directly attached to real estate, right?
Yes, yes. There's a lot of young kids that's in real estate right now. I mean, young adults, I should say.
Young adults. So
Yes.
why do you think that movement is going on like that?
I think ever since the pandemic, it seemed like the real estate, like it's just boom. Like the kids, they try to, we finding things to do since we couldn't go out, and a lot of them were figuring out how to buy homes and wholesale them, and at a very young age, like they eager to learn, and that's how my daughter is. Like she learned a lot just off of Instagram and TikTok, watching the younger generation, the 18, 17-year-olds wholesaling. And they have videos that they talk about on TikTok showing how they do it and how much money they made and things like that. So that intrigued her. And she's like, okay, Ma, I wanna do real estate. Can you teach me? Or she like to come with me when I look at houses. Like she helped me video a house today, you know.
Wow. So y'all video. What was the address, Lakeisha?
It was, I can't give you it was on Plantation Road. It was in Carmel. I just it was a
Okay,
recent house.
okay. So y'all gonna be able to find them on my Facebook page.
Yes,
Keisha's gonna be posting. I already know she's
yes,
gonna be leaving in about another 4 minutes because she's
yes,
ready to go show another house.
yes,
I had to pull her in to get her going because you know how it is when you got the best of the best in the business.
yes.
You know they're gonna start charging me to come on my show. So the gallery ain't coming. The creek and rose and the levee has given way. It's up to us to save us.
Yes,
So generational wealth. It's important that we understand real estate, right? So
yes,
so do you feel like you guys are the gatekeepers for our community when we're talking about home values and they're not tanking compared to in other communities?
yes. I believe so.
Okay. So how do you guys make sure that, we're selling houses in the hood as well as we selling houses in the suburbs comparable in pricing, even though the values are a little bit different? Do we
The
put
values are different. So what I do, I make sure that I compare them to the similar houses that's in that area.
okay.
Yeah,
So the same house. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure
square
that
foot.
y'all understand that, your house might be the same square footage as a house in Carmel, might even be a little bit bigger, but it might not be the same price
Because of
because
the location as well.
of location.
Yes,
So one of the things I've heard a lot of realtors say location, location,
yes,
location.
yes,
So that's important.
yes. And the market really makes up the prices of the homes. It's the market. It's whatever the houses are going for, then that's where that's how the appraisers get their value of a home.
Okay,
So
okay,
if you living next to a home that's worth 250 or 300, then you should be somewhere in that range if it's still in a good condition, of course.
okay. So now, what are some of the things that you like to see when a client comes to you? Right before I let you go, what are some of the
Okay.
things that you like to see when they come to you? What are some of the things that so if they want to come to you, what should they have to be prepared to come to you?
Yeah. So if they're coming to buy, it'll be nice if they have a pre-approval already. A
Come to
pre-approval
me, and
letter.
I'll get you your pre-approval. Come to
Yeah.
me, and I'll take
Yep.
care of that for you.
Yeah, that way you know what price range that we need to shop for. Because there's no point of looking for houses and you haven't received a pre-approval. You don't know how much you approved for. So it's going to waste time for you and I to go look at houses, and you may have not even been approved for a $300,000 house. So it's best to have a pre-approval so we know what type of house in the price range that we need to be looking for.
Okay, okay, okay. So, what are some of the other things? That's it. Just the
The
pre-approval letter.
know what you want.
Kind
That
of know
was
what you want.
kind
You
of
want to know
what you
if you
want. Like if you want a 3 bedroom, 2 story, or a ranch only, or you want a large house sitting on a lot of land. Like just kind of give me something to work with, so I know what to search for you and
what
send you.
side of town.
Yeah,
School district would be good to know what school
yeah,
district you want to be in. Okay,
yeah.
Lakeisha, I know you got to go. You warned me in advance. Thank you for coming, being a part. I know we had some questions, but what I'll do is I'll forward you the questions. You
Okay,
can go in there and I'll put it on my Facebook to make sure that they get answered.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakeisha, the number one real estate agent in Indy. If you are looking to buy or sell your home, you need to hook up with Lakeisha because she can take care of you. Thanks a lot, Lakeisha.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose, the levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. Today we had a conversation with Lakeisha. She was talking about what we need to do if we're going to be competitive in the markets that we're in. We had a great turnout last Saturday. We were selling homes. We went and looked at some of the most beautiful homes in the city last Saturday. If you are looking to buy a home, if you're looking to get into generational wealth, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be able to qualify and you have to get in a mindset that you can actually do better than what you're doing. The cavalry is not coming, ladies and gentlemen. The creek is rose and the levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. So, one of the things I'm going to give you some tips about one of what you should look for, or one of the things you should do when you get ready to go to a realtor. One, you need to have a pre-approval, and that consists of you that just verifies that you have 2 years of employment. You got to have 2 months of bank statements. Normally, it's 3 to 5% of the value of your home. That's what you need to put down. Okay. You need to make sure that you know where you want to go. Do you want to be on the east side of town? Do you want to be in the inner city? Do you want to be in the country? Wherever you want to be, you need to have that information available so that when you go to that realtor, kind of know what you want. Okay. It's like going into McDonald's. When you go into McDonald's, you know what you want. You know if you want a Big Mac, or if you want a hamburger, if you want a fish sandwich. Whatever it is, you got to know what you want. The third thing that you need to know is how much do you want to pay? Okay, you might qualify for 300,000, but you might only want to pay 200. So you need to know before you go to that realtor what your budget is, where do you want to be, when do you want to move, so that when the realtor asks you these questions, you'll be able to answer them intelligently. And also, you want to have that pre-approval letter. Okay, so let's talk about generational wealth. How does that tie into generational wealth? When you start talking about home ownership, it gives you the opportunity for you to start investing into yourself, because no longer will you be putting that cash into somebody else's pocket and it never comes back to you. When you are renting, once you pay that rent, that's instantaneous satisfaction. But when you got a mortgage and you're paying that mortgage, you're building equity into that property. So when you build up equity, that's when you start to see your generational wealth come into play. Okay. So Lakesha was saying that even with FHA and VA and conventional, a lot of times I've seen that a lot of people want to put no money down. Okay. Let's talk about that. When you put no money down, that's really saying that you're not going to have any equity in your property when you purchase it. Okay. You want to have as much equity in your property when you purchase it as possible, because we never know what might happen. So the more money you put down, the more equity you're going to have in your property, unless you're doing gap. So you're paying over the amount of the appraised value. So make sure that you are very educated on the process. Ask your realtor a lot of questions. Get a second opinion. All of those things. Sometime I had a conversation with a realtor today, and I asked Lakesha the same question, and the realtor was really saying that FHA loans are harder to do and they're not really educating the customer about a conventional loan compared to an FHA loan. So what they're really saying is that I don't want to work as hard, because you got to work a little bit harder with people who have had challenging credit. Okay, so when you got people that's had challenging credit or filed bankruptcy or don't qualify for a conventional loan, then you got to do some creative financing. And what does that entail? That means that you might have to explain why that person had a job gap and why they missed a couple of car payments or some house payments because of whatever reason. But when you're applying for a conventional loan, the rules are less relaxed. So you got to know what you're getting when you're getting it. Okay, so another piece of this home ownership and generational wealth, you got to understand that when we're talking about generating a home for you, you're going to be in competition. You're going to be in competition with people that are out of state. You're going to be in competition with people who might like your dream home. So only because you like a home, that doesn't mean you're going to get it. You have to do some of the things. She gave us an example on what we can do to increase our chances of getting a home, and that's earn extra earnings money. So if you know that everybody's giving $500, you might want to give $2,000, because I guarantee you, with the better your offer is, the more likely the chances that they're going to accept it. So you want to make sure that you hire a realtor that is very competent, that knows what they're doing, that's trying to do better, that's making sure that your best interest is taken care of. Okay. So when we're talking about generational wealth, home ownership has to be a key cornerstone of creating that opportunity. Why? Because when you become a homeowner, now you have equity. Now you can go to the bank and get lines of credit and invest into businesses. Then we're able to hire our people, look at our people, and make content and give products and services to our people that we can utilize. Okay, so like I said, the cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose, the levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. Now, the 25th of June, we're going to have the second extravaganza of houses. Okay, that means that we're going to have realtors there again, like Lakesha. We're going to have builders there. We're going to have um, inspectors there, contractors there, to make sure that you guys understand exactly what you get. We even going to have bankers there. If you need your credit worked on, we got people that will be able to do that for you. We're going to make sure that you're in the best hands possible. If you have thought about owning a home or purchasing a home or selling your home, you need to be there on the 25th of June at 9,000 Keystone in the Crossing at 11 o'clock. You can come in, get a pre-approval right then there on the spot, go out, look at the home, make an offer on it, and be ready to close within 30 to 45 days. So you can make it happen for yourself. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to become a homeowner now. Okay? That's what we're talking about. This is the last night of our series on home ownership. Next week, we're going to talk about businesses again. I'm going to have some businesses on the show. I know we've gotten away from it because I wanted to teach and educate and bring people in that is actually able to create generational wealth through real estate. Real estate is the key to having income that is going to be passed down from generation to generation. One day when I was talking to my accountant, and he's a prominent accountant here in the city, and he said this. He said, "I have hundreds of people that are millionaires here in Indiana, but what happens is one of the things that they have is in common is this: they all invest into real estate." So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to start investing into real estate. It's not an option, it's a must for our survival. So we want to make sure that we're doing our part on making sure that we are involved in the generational wealth process. So next week, we're going to have some more businesses on the show, the 25th of June. Make sure that you mark that in on your calendar. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have liked the show, and if it has benefited you and your family, okay, would you do one favor for me? I want you to log in next week and I want you to share and tag as many people as possible so that we can start getting on the path to home ownership and generational wealth. We have to create a movement in our city that's going to stop the crime, that's going to stop all the things that's negative. We can do it ourselves. We can police ourselves. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, the cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose and the levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. Once again, tonight we're not going to have a long show. We want to make sure that people are getting their questions answered. You can inbox me. You can instant message me. I'll get back with you. But one of the things we cannot do is sit on the side and expect a difference. We have to get in the game. The cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for allowing me to come into your home on a Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have enjoyed my shows, if you have benefited from it, please start sharing it. Let people know that we're out here, that we're educating people, and also come and participate in our events. like I said, we'll be at 9,000 Keystone and the Crossing on June the 25th. We're going to be there with home ownerships. We're going to bring banks in there. We're going to bring real estate agents. We're going to bring builders. We're going to bring B Windows. They said that they would be there. Andy Finnegan, Mariah Jackson at First Financial. Those are early commitments that we have that will be at our show. So we want to make sure that you are going to be out. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the cavalry's not coming. The creek is rose, the levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. Till next week, keep betting on yourself. The cavalry's not coming, ladies and gentlemen. The creek is rose, the levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. Once again, see you next week and keep betting on yourself.